Hey, this is Henry Rotten.
Hey, this is Marcus Centofonte.
It's Brad fucking Rush. This is the fucking GBYWN fucking podcast. Fuck. Got it on tape.
Hell yeah.
Got it down.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome for that match. Thank you for everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Global Backyard Wrestling Nation podcast. I am your host, Rad Hazard, and I have to kick off this edition of the podcast by admitting a huge mistake. Perhaps, no, it must be the biggest mistake I have ever made on this podcast. And let me tell you, I'm a little embarrassed to admit it. I really am. But hey, this is not a professional production. I mean, right now you're listening to a man who is inside the GBYWN podcast sound studio. A 1991 white Ford Mustang. Actually, it's also an automatic, if you're wondering. But either way, I have to tell you this story because last week I came on this show and I said that we would have a trilogy for Patrick Wade Wilson in his interview. And then we ended it. We called it off. We signed off and it was all over. I ended up getting a message from P-Dub himself saying, Rad, that can't be it. I know we interviewed more than that. I know we got into the 2012 and 2013 year. I thought to myself, well, man, I edited everything I could find. I edited everything. It was in 3 parts. He said, please, look again, man. Look again. All right. So I checked and I searched and searched. I went through the edited files. I went through the raw files. And lo and behold, a tiny raw file at the end of the interview folder showcased just that. P-Dub's years in 2012 and 2013. Oh my God, how on earth have I missed it? Can you possibly forgive me? Oh, can you forgive me? Oh, you know what? I'll make it up to you. I'll make it up to you with this special breaking the mold, breaking tradition. We're going to a part 4, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, part 4 of the 3-part series of Patrick Wade Wilson. And we will be getting to that in just a moment. But first, let me talk about what I got to do last week because it was quite an eventful week for Rad Hazard, as I was a part of BXW Snafu, where we had Pennsylvania versus New Jersey, an entire card of interstate wrestling. To open the show, Chris Urban and I argued over the fate of the Radical Movement Elite, with Eric Douglas leaving us at NYE, and I declared the Radical Movement Elite dead. From there, New Jersey, all of the New Jersey roster came out and attacked us, threw us out of the ring. Led by none other than Big Sexy Venom, who claimed that not a single Pennsylvania wrestler came to his show. OCWS Big Sexy Backyard Bash. Now, of course, we had to retaliate, and we did in a big way. As John the King Keller, none other than the King himself, led the charge as Pennsylvania's finest came out to attack New Jersey, ultimately driving them away. And I myself retaliated by accepting the challenge of New Jersey for the day. Thus, throughout the show, all New Jersey and PA matches. The match I was involved in was one against none other than the UWC champion Killa K. Something Killa and I have been talking about for years now, finally having our match, and I thought it was very good. We actually chained in the match longer than I've chained with anybody in a wrestling match. It was very fun. Really kick-back kind of match. And I would have no problem wrestling Killa K again. His double stomp was great. He hits all his moves really well. I had 0 problems with the match. I was very happy with the match. And at the end, John the King Keller knocking out Killa K and then knocking me out for good measure. I fell on top of Killa K. Hey, that's one in the record books for Rad Hazard. That's good enough for me. But perhaps my biggest moment of the night wasn't in my match, but in another. A 6-man tag team attraction that saw Chris Urban, Drake Genocide, and Hybrid taking on the team of Joshua Wesker, Big Sexy Venom, and that traitor, that Jersey Shore Tannin traitor, Mike Davis. Which was a fantastic match, a really, really grueling match. I loved it. We actually had a fan from outside who was watching the promo earlier in the day between Chris Urban and Hybrid, came up to watch the match, and he was freaking out. His first showcase of BXW being something like that, I was very happy to see, and I'm sure we'll see him again watching the show in the future. But either way, at the end of the match, Chris Urban, Drake Genocide, and Big Sexy Venom faced off in the middle of the ring, turned around, and hit their finishers on their respective partners and opponents, leading widespread confusion across the entire yard. What was going on? Chris Urban declared that these men were the new Radical Movement, the second iteration of the Radical Movement, and asked me to come into a ring, and as a gift, gave me leadership of the new Radical Movement, restoring our friendship. And boy, what a moment that was to see all 4 of us arms raised in the middle of the ring, the new Radical Movement. Oh, just think of the tag teams themselves. Rad Hazard and Big Sexy Venom, Chris Urban and Big Sexy Venom, Drake Genocide and Chris Urban? And how about Drake Genocide and Big Sexy Venom? 2 big men in a big tag team. I'm really excited for the future of the new Radical Movement. Oh, all the great things we're going to do. No doubt about it. You keep your eyes open, folks, because this is the first chapter in a brand new book for myself and these men that form the Radical Movement. But I think the other important milestone of the night was the main event, a ladder match between Halo Brown and James Connolly for the prestigious GBYWN World X Division Championship and the unrecognized GBYWN Interim Championship. The match was something to behold, guys, and let me tell you, after NYE and watching all the new blood coming in and the old blood slowly making their way out, it's great to have 2 guys like this who are hungry, who want to have the absolute best match they can, who haven't really had that many opportunities yet to be in the main event in a match like a ladder match, a unification ladder match, a very big spot. And they got to tear the house down. They tried to kill each other, and yet they had a beautiful story. And at the end of the match, Halo grabbed that World X Division title. James Connolly grabbed that Interim X Division title. And because that Interim title really doesn't mean anything, it's not recognized, James Connolly threw down the belt in disgust as Halo Brown was crowned the new GBYWN X Division Champion of the World. And let me tell you, it was a great match that showed them both evenly matched. Halo just happened to grab the right belt. And I thought the story was wonderful and gives a lot of room for a rematch, as well as matches against the former champion still needing his rematch. None other than Mark Electric. You know, after NYE, I realized something, because originally that X Division Championship was going to be retired soon. At one point, it was going to be retired at this show in a 3-way with Marky on hand. But after watching James Connolly's amazing run these last couple of months, taking on guys like Matt DeMorris and Johnny Boy, and the list goes on and on. How about Brad Rush? Yeah, Brad Rush got a title shot. It really shows that this belt can really elevate new guys and fresh blood. And now it's going to do the exact same thing with Halo Brown. I already know, because I've talked to bookers. There's guys in Connecticut, there's guys in New Jersey, all over the place, Pennsylvania obviously, who are going to start promoting him as the champion and giving him some big matches and big title defenses. And you see, last year, I thought about making a quote-unquote maybe rookie championship, a title that would spotlight the new blood in backyard wrestling. And that was going to be the Internet Championship, a time limit title that just didn't get off the ground. Jimmy Spino had it and then he got injured. He wasn't able to defend it for a very long time. and it just didn't work. And I've been searching and searching and searching for this Spotlight Championship, and lo and behold, it was right in front of me all along. The X Division title, really showcasing the future of backyard wrestling. And that's why I'm really glad we're going to keep this belt around, and that it means so much to so many different promotions to have Halo Brown take on these older, more experienced wrestlers and be able to put on some great matches. And it helps both James Conley and Halo Brown, and I'm sure it'll help future champions as well. So this is a really great stepping stone for both these men. Match-wise, kayfabe-wise, in pretty much every way you could think of it, did nothing but benefit both of them, and I am so happy we were able to make this happen. But now, folks, let's get to this final part. The final showcase, if you will. The season finale, if you will, of this long-running marathon that all I've heard is positive stuff about. Everyone loves the interview of P-Dub-Dub, so we're going to continue it here, part 4. The final part, the special edition, the end-all be-all of the interview with none other than the leader of the Stepdads and the GBYWN Tag Team Champion of the World, Patrick Wade Wilson.
I don't know, after that, I wrestled Urban at the beginning of 2012 for the first time. The only time I've ever wrestled him, actually.
Nice.
It was me and Urban and Bolt, and we had a really cool match at We No Show for the Lulz, too. And Chris gave me one of the hugest compliments I've ever gotten. Chris was not feeling it that day, which he's known to do sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was not feeling it. We went upstairs, and I planned out the whole match for him and for Bolt, and we had a really fun match. And put Chris over. I got Chris to do a huge moonsault off the top and miss, which he was scared to do. We did some really cool stuff, and he came up to me after the match. He's like, "Dude, I don't give a shit what anybody says. You're fucking awesome to work and super easy to work." And I took that as a huge compliment. That was one of the bigger compliments I had gotten. Jonah too. Jonah loves my wrestling. I don't know why. Jonah gave me a huge compliment too, so I always appreciate. I always remember that stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know, after that, I wrestled Tech at EWA. That's the only time I've wrestled Tech. I thought we had a cool match. This is when Tech was doing his whole pure blood thing.
Yeah.
Where he was attacking anyone.
Very interesting.
It was a cool idea.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was ever explained well enough.
I feel like it was. It just took a really long time, and by that point, you thought that there was no point.
Yeah.
And then when you found out, you're like, oh, okay, that's really cool, but it took a really long time to get there.
I think it was originally supposed to end in a Tech versus Don battle.
Yes, and that's why they had their match at Goodbye later in the year.
Yes.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Don will tell you. That's the only reason.
It was a cool idea. He was doing his Pure Bloods thing, which fit Tech perfectly. He hated anyone who wasn't from New Jersey and considered them not a true, yarder or something. Inferior. Yeah, he considered them inferior. And he attacked Danny, and I remember standing up for Danny and going after Tech. And we had a match, and the finish was awesome. It made me look like a beast, which I loved, and I put Tech over huge. He hit me with the field goal kick because he didn't want to. We played up the angle that he didn't want to attack me because I'm from Jersey, so I'm okay with him.
Right. And
he field goal kicked me, and went to leave, and I got back up, and I was like, no, fuck you, and he kicked me again, field goal kicked me again, and I didn't get knocked out again. I laid there for a minute, and I got back up. And he comes over and he kicked me 37... I think I counted 37 times in the head.
Jeez.
And I eventually went down and the ref stopped and pushed him off. But it was so cool. Other stuff... The match wasn't super great, but I thought the story was awesome.
Plus, it's a twig kicking you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if Ted could kick me in the head all fucking day, it wouldn't bother me. But it was a fun story, I thought. And, I don't know, not long after that is when I won the hardcore belt. Because I was doing crazy shit at this point. I didn't give a shit anymore. I was neck bumping. I wrestled Mike Williams because he came out during one of my matches, and I lariated him. I lariated him so hard that he backflipped and everybody lost their minds. I just really wanted to hit him really fucking hard, so I killed him. And
The
he
secret
backflipped.
revealed.
And all I remember is FX running around the yard with his hands above his head, like high stepping around the yard and losing his mind. I had a really good match with Josh Wesker and Dusty Dallas, which doesn't make any fucking sense.
I feel like Wesker can do a good match.
It was way better than it had any right to be. I started the match like a house of fire, and then my favorite spot in the whole
and then
match
it burned
was
down to the ground. They both died.
I went for
Best match ever.
I went for the two spots I enjoyed.
Brought the house down.
I went for a spear on Dusty Dallas, and he dove out of the way. And as I was in mid-spear, Wesker baseball bat swung a chair into my head,
Jeez.
which was cool as shit.
That's what he's good for.
And the finish of the match was we concertoed Wesker really meanly. And then I high-fived Dusty Dallas, and he went to get a beer.
Is that you?
That's me. He went to get a beer, and as soon as he came back with the beer, I lariated his fucking head off, and the beer went flying. And I thought it was such a fun finish, and it was a great opener, better than any right to be at all. And I don't know, that's 2012 was. This is where I really started to feel like I came into my own.
Well, how'd you feel about getting the belt? Did it matter?
I got the belt as a favor to TJ. They gave it to Williams to give him something to do.
Right. Okay.
That's a fact. That's what
yeah.
TJ
No.
told
No.
me.
I've heard that many times actually.
And then they needed to get it off TJ, off Mike, because he's like, oh, I'm the hardcore champion. Good. This is a good time for me to start winning matches with submissions. And so he won a match. He won the match for the belt with a submission, and TJ was like, "Fuck him, he's losing that belt."
What was the submission?
Something really stupid.
If it was like a Samoa Joe, like the
It wasn't.
choke or something, that would be good.
Don't perceive it as being anything good because it wasn't.
Yeah, he can't wrap his arms around anything anymore.
So I told TJ I would make the belt. He wanted to give it to somebody who he thought could carry it and make it mean something. So I won it.
Oh, that's what you want
I
to do
beat
with belts.
Williams, and I had fun leading up to it. I wrestled Dell for the only time ever around this time, and it ended when I got attacked, or Dell got attacked by. No, I think I got attacked by somebody during the match, but that was fun. It's the only time I've wrestled Dell. But I won the belt at Anniversary against Mike Williams, and that happened. I mean, I thought I had some fun matches. I really didn't go over the top with the hardcore stuff. It was mostly like I do one or two spots to add to the match. It was more like a strong style, like hit people really hard stuff. Me and Massacre had a really cool singles where he face washed a stop sign into my face, and that match was cool because the whole match he beat the crap out of him. He had just lost a tri-state, so he was super cocky. Really a big stretch for him to be cocky. And he faced me and he was like, "This is all you have for me?" And I rolled him up. I won a hardcore match with a roll-up. But it made sense at the time. Like, it wasn't like a fucking submission.
Right. It worked for the gimmicks.
Yeah. I ended up I had a feud with TJ over the hardcore belt, and I ended up beating him. I was basically saying that he was ruining EWA because he ran off Dell and he ran off Brody, and I was blaming him for all that. So he came after me for the belt, and we had some really fun hardcore matches where I hit him with pots and pans and toilet seats and fucking all sorts of shit. He super kicked me with a cheese grater taped to his foot.
Wow.
Which was awesome.
So, Brody didn't know that we were here this whole time, so...
I said I didn't text him.
Well, I just messaged him on Facebook.
I figured he would just message. He told me he was at work, so I figured he'd message me when he was out of work, and he never did. So.
No, yeah.
NYE2 happened. NYE2 is my big fucking breakout, kind of. Like, I mean, I had broken out before, but this was my taking the next step when I had the opener. A lot of people trust me for openers. I don't think I'm that great, but people were like, "This guy could be in a good opener." Don put me in the opener of NYE2 against Doug, Sid Blade, and TJ. Shocker, TJ. We had I fucking love that match. To this day, I love that match. Some stuff didn't go perfect, but that match was fun as fuck. And the worst part about that match at a time was we had to open, and Don really wanted the show to open at a certain time, I think, and I really needed to go to the bathroom. Yeah, I know, right? But,
Oh, sorry.
That whole match, I was holding in the biggest shit of my life. I had to shit that entire match. And there was a spot where everybody did dives, and I did a flip bump off the base, and everybody moved. And I don't know if... I think Don was filming, and I look up at Don, and I go, Don, I almost just shit my pants. And he just looks at me like, did you? I was like, thankfully, no.
Man with the runs.
So, and the worst part... The worst part about that was I knew the finish to that match. I knew the finish to that match was Doug hitting me with the debut. Which the best part about that is Joe Randa comes up. He reffed that match. Randa goes, "What's the finish?" And I go, "Doug's hitting me with the debut." And he just goes, "Fuck it, good luck," and walks out.
So random.
The finish happens. Joe Randa loses his mind. Mike Damage loses his mind if you watch it on film. Mike Damage, Andrew Wright, BRB. All go fucking nuts in the background because I died on the fucking debut. As soon as the match ends, I get pinned. They go, "Good job." I waddle up the fucking hill and ruin Big John's bathroom. That whole match was just a war of attrition between me and my colon. So it's funny to me that people love that match because I had to poop the whole time really bad. But I didn't pull a Mike Williams and shit my pants, so that's a plus. And day two I wrestled JP. I convinced JP to wrestle because he was hanging out, and I'd always wanted to wrestle JP. And hey, shut the fuck up over there.
My phone's on vibrate.
Brody's showing up. Shut up.
Fair enough. I wrestled JP, and the whole opening of the match was us doing everyone else in the yard that day's finishers.
Nice.
The best part was JP going up to Crucible and saying, "Steve, how do I do a lightning spiral?" And Steve was like, "Sure, I'll fucking show you." Didn't care that we kicked out of everybody's finishers to open the match at 1, pretty much.
I remember.
And
that.
everybody was, people loved it, so it was funny. I don't know. I don't even know.
I was trying to remember people's finishers.
What the hell else happened this year? Tietzelmania 3 happened.
Lightning spiral.
Yes.
I don't even remember my finisher.
Tietzelmania 3 was the greatest main event of all time. Me versus Ryan Brody versus JD Static versus Patrick Tietzel.
And a scary main event with those stipulations. I know some people were a little scared.
The stipulations were Ryan Brody, if he won, ended Tietzelmania, which he did. JD Static.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
Right
sorry.
off the bat, before you even announce the rest.
JD
Already
Static.
over, I don't care.
If JD Static won, Joey Tornado had to retire.
That's so random.
I really wish, like, just for the goofiness of it, that JD won. Honestly.
If Tietzel won, Tietzel was going to get a GBYWN title shot against Murph.
That
Was it
yeah.
Murph? I thought it was Demar.
It was Murph at the time.
And
Chris,
some
there was a
people
Tietzel-
really thought that was gonna
There was
happen.
a Tietzel versus Murph chant that happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And if I won, I was a late addition to the match. If I won, originally actually me versus Ian was supposed to happen at that show, but Ian couldn't go.
Aw, man.
So I wrestled Tietzel instead. And
Good trade.
If I won, first of all, I rode to the ring on a bike. Tietzel's bike, not Tietzel's bike, but we played it up like it's Tietzel's
Right.
bike. And I came out in a helmet and a bike, and if I won, I got Patrick Tietzel's car.
Yeah,
We did not tell Tietzel this.
Oh.
So he was flipping out. I was like, "It's not real, Tietzel. I'm not winning." But he would have been very sad to lose his car. At that show, he showed up in his car. He drove past the venue 3 times. The window was down. He was blasting Hulk Hogan's theme and doing the Hulk Hogan taunt out the window.
He's listening to find you guys.
It was incredible.
Why, guys?
We also did at that show was one of the funniest promos I think I've ever been a part of,
Gave that man a license.
which was the reason we can't go to I Sucks Dick's Canada show because we all got put on the no-fly list.
Yep.
Which Russ, you
Great
were part of that promo, right?
What's that?
The no-fly list promo, where we all got banned from going to Canada because Don said the show was going to be the bomb. And
I don't remember it. Like,
you wrestled who'd you wrestle at that show?
Which one?
Tietzelmania 3.
I think it was Warren.
Yeah.
I think that's what the main event of that.
Yeah.
I was there too.
Yeah.
That was
Tossed his.
Who did I wrestle? I wrestled
creepy ass around.
Jamie.
you off the thing, right?
Yeah.
No, who did I wrestle? I wrestled.
I didn't think you were there.
I was there. Dicks.
What did we do for the no-fly list?
Everybody had their
Promo.
promos where like we were all hanging out, and Don's like, "You guys, we gotta go up to Canada because they always come down here."
I think I wrestled Joey and JD.
And at the end, it was like, no, because Jed wrestled Crucible at that show.
Mm-hmm.
I wrestled Joey. Maybe.
Sorry, you guys are all over the place. But the no fly list promo, Don, we did a thing with Jimmy Magnum where he was like the TSA guy, and it was Ben.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Ben, Triple R, and Don all got like put on the ground and put on the no fly list. And it's like,
Oh yeah, I was there as
suck,
well. Yeah.
I suck sticks. The best show we can't go to. Sorry, Canada. And that promo is great. If you look it up, if you haven't seen it, it's really funny. I enjoyed the hell out of it, and Brody ended Teaselmania, so there will not be another one.
No.
The best part of that show is the opening promo, though, where Teasel and when you do a promo with Teasel, you just kind of let it happen.
It's kind of like a promo with the King.
You're not planning. You just have
With
to
John
go
Kelly,
off
yeah.
book.
Yeah.
So
With what?
doing a promo with Teasel.
Oh.
So they did the promo with
There's no
Teasel,
with. It's just him.
and they're out
Yeah, he's there.
and Brody's like.
Things will be said.
Brody tells Teasel to leave the ring first after the promo. They were going to get into it right at the beginning, because Teasel and Brody had a thing the year before, where Brody comes out for a promo where he's going to wrestle two-step, and he goes, "Get out of my ring." And Teasel goes, "I don't see your name on it." It's also the same show where Teasel said, "I got pulled over coming to this show, and the cop gave me a ticket to Teaselmania."
Yeah. Best ever.
Who is this magical cop?
I don't know, but why did he have tickets to a show that didn't need tickets? Nobody ever explained it, but...
Well, nobody ever really looked into Teachel's paint eating habits either, but you know.
But we have the match. Teasel we did some really fun spots of that match. But the opening promo is Brody's like, "You leave first," and Teasel's like, "Age before beauty," and Brody goes, "You're older than me." And Teasel's response is, "If you don't leave, you gotta suck my dick."
And all this started chanting,
And
"You were gonna leave."
all you hear is C4 go, "Brody, leave! Leave! Don't make us see this!" And then Teasel gets the crowd into it and goes, "Everybody over here!" And everyone goes, "Yeah!" And he goes, "Everyone over here!" "Yeah!" And he goes, "This side wins, that side's gay," and just leaves.
Wow.
Because Teasel is the master of the English language. God. That was one of the scariest matches I've ever been in.
Reckons he Teasel?
The year before, Teasel wrestled Murph's brother.
Oh,
And
yeah.
gave him a powerbomb that almost murdered him.
Oh.
I think that's the reason why he doesn't wrestle.
So, yes, I think that's the last time he wrestled. So, in that match, we tried to get Teasel to give
Wait a minute.
Jed a really unsafe powerbomb.
Didn't Murph's brother like start a family after that and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think he already had a kid.
You think he had
He already
like
had
a
a kid.
near-death experience and he was
Yeah,
just like,
yeah, I think so.
I need to have a family now.
I'm trying to remember what his name
Just
was. Oh,
be thankful.
Black Davy Bonnet. I don't know why. Don't ask. Ask Murph. He'll probably
Whatever.
tell you a fucking
Something
hour.
long-
He'll probably give you an hour-long backstory about it.
Goddamn corporate Murph.
Yeah, fucking corporate Murph. So, we tried to get Teasel to give Jed a powerbomb like the one he gave Murph's brother, and he ended up giving Jed the most safe powerbomb of all time. And Jed was very upset that it was not unsafe and didn't almost kill him.
That's a first.
And we also tried to get Teasel to give Jed a, Jed wrestled LT Snake. This is just a fun story.
Oh god.
And Jed goes for a Rana, and mid-Rana, LT Snake just powerbombs him.
What is
Which is the unsafest thing to ever happen. And, first of all, LT Snake called it an American Rana. So Jed just starts giving them in the Teasel match and calling them American Ranas and tries to get Teasel to kill him. And Teasel we're like, "Teasel, we want you to give Jed a powerbomb." And he goes, "If I remember last year, that didn't go too well," which was the understatement of the century because he almost murdered Black Davy Bonnet. But planning with Teasel, really a trip. There was a spot when we were planning and we
Like
forgot
drug
what
trip.
spot came next. And Tietzel goes, "Oh, that's this," and my mind fucking exploded. I had to stop for like 10 minutes and stop planning. But that Tietzelmanias were like maybe the most fun I've ever had at shows. BKW in general was just super fun to go to. That was just good times. It's a shame that I can't go there ever again because they shut down. Hopefully they open back up. But I don't even know what comes next. I had a good match with Marky at a random BXW extra show. That was probably. I wish that match was in front of a bigger crowd. There was only like 10 people there. I feel like.
Yeah, I heard their last couple extras were really small shows.
And me and Marky had a really. That was why I got to wrestle Marky, because it was a small show. But we had a good match. I took a Yoshi tonic, and it was gross. And that was just fun. There's a video for it. Watch it if you haven't seen it. After that is Elite. Elite, I wrestled the Hardcore Invitational, which is the worst match that's ever existed in the history of the world.
You're still champion at this point, right?
I'm still champion. I lose. I get eliminated from the match first because I want no part of it. I'm out in 5 minutes. Multiple spots are still blown in those 5 minutes. Josh Wesker is supposed to eliminate me, never gets back in the ring. So FX has to just hit me with like 12 straight moves because he's FX. So he beats me. And I'm out. And it's the greatest decision I've ever made to have some. They're good. I was so happy to lose the belt. I didn't want to be hardcore champion anymore. And Dusty Dallas won the belt in that match and was never seen again. I don't think he ever wrestled in EWA again. He sold the belt. Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, do you know the story behind that at all?
Hat made out of beer.
The problem, he's
around the whole year and then just disappeared after he won his belt.
He was like, "Oh, I'm going pro. See you guys later." He sucked. He sucked then. He sucks now. We brought him to Tietzelmania, and it was the worst thing we ever did. Like he was so cool before that. Like he wasn't a piece of shit before that. We bring him up there, and he's just an absolute piece of shit the whole time.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Him and that other dude acted like they were awesome.
They acted like BKW was beneath them because it wasn't super organized, and they were like, "Could you give me Zeke's number so I could ask him if I should be face or heel or not?" I was like, "It doesn't fucking matter. It's not how it works. Just fucking do whatever." And they just sucked, and they ruined all the fucking fun. They took all the life out of that show. Driving with them was awful. Fuck them. I hope they never come back. I hope they're fucking dead right now.
Oh, wow.
Like, you remember those wind-up toys that were monkeys and they clash cymbals? That's what that other dude looked like.
That's racist, but fantastic.
Well, no, it's not racist. It's not racist if that's what his face looks like.
Was he
like,
he was a monkey?
no.
So that match happens,
Guess he was
and
blackish.
that was supposed to be my only match on the card, because I don't know, EWA hates me, I guess. But I politicked to get myself put in a match with Murph and Shawn Matthews, which was good because I wanted my revenge for Murph for him hitting me with the trophy and winning belts from us and all that shit.
Finally kind of wrapping up that story.
That was my getting out of the Pride of the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
Murph made an open challenge. I rolled up Murph from behind. Ben attacked me, and Murph got disqualified. And we had the match. Stuff went crazy. I took the craziest Hero's Welcome or Crossroads or whatever the fuck it is. I landed right on top of my head and my neck. I turtled. My neck went into my body.
For like 2 hours.
Yeah, suck a dick, Russ.
That's how these things roll.
You and your lists.
Russ, leave! Leave! I don't want to see this!
I don't want to see you suck Patrick Tietzel's dick.
See it.
I don't want to see Tietzel's dick.
You probably wouldn't be able to. It's too tiny.
But I took. I gave Shawn Matthews a Canadian Destroyer in that match. And that
You did.
Yeah.
Man.
So that was cool. That guy's freak strong. Like, he doesn't look it, but man.
Shawn Matthews?
Shawn Matthews is a fucking freak. He's the man, by the way. Shawn Matthews is the man. He needs to come to more shows. He needs to be in my life more.
I second that.
And I don't know. I went to King's Cup, and that was okay. I wrestled Ryan Ragnarok. That happened. I wrestled Johnny Boy Mad Ecstatic. That was a fun match. Got the wind knocked out of me again. I think. No, that was against Mad Ecstatic and Henry. I wrestled Mad Ecstatic in a bunch of BXW triple threats.
I've noticed that, which is weird because he doesn't show up that often.
Yep. And then, Goodbye 2012, Day 2, I wrestled The Russ and G Fatal in a match that was supposed to be 4th on the card and ended up being pre-main. We got pushed back all day. our way of fixing the match and making it a pre-main match was let's just hit each other as hard as we can. So we did, and my jaw still clicks because the Russ punched me in the face.
Hence why I do the Superman punch now.
That match also had two of the scariest plunges I've ever watched, where Russ went to flip to the outside and did not get the distance I thought he was going to get. You like flipped, but like your ass hit like the apron almost.
Oh.
And I was standing further away, so I did not catch you.
Right.
And then G Fatal went for a
Code red.
yeah, an infrared
Oh,
to the
infrared,
outside
fuck ever.
and hit the apron almost. That was terrifying.
Yeah, he almost died.
But that was a fun. That match came out good. People loved it.
Yeah.
So, fuck it. Whatever.
Seriously.
The next year was New Era, mostly New Era. I had a lot of New Era matches that are still, they're probably in my top 5 is probably all New Era matches. Me and Danny, we did the Stepdads promo in that off season.
Yes,
If you have not seen the Stepdads promo, watch it. I'm gonna I'll plug the shit out of that. I don't even care.
Do it.
It's one of the funniest things we've ever put together. Danny and Ben came down for a weekend actually, and we filmed that promo, and it was so fun. The hardest part of that promo was finding a swing set.
What?
There's no swings here.
Yeah, every park around here does not
New
have
Jersey
swings
hates
apparently.
swings.
Because we wanted the swings to do the part with Ben, where I think it's Danny and I turn and it's Ben, and Ben just goes, "I like the swing sometimes," and it makes the whole promo. But there's no editing in that promo. It's just the way we shot it too. That's the funny part of it. Like everybody thinks like all
We had so many good ideas.
the beach stuff, where we're like slow motion.
Yeah.
It's all just one shot. Like it's all one shot. Or it's actually a bunch of shots, but like done. There's no editing to it. It's just all put in order. And now we had our little better together thing at the end, and that was the return of the Stepdads. And we wrestled a lot in the first half of the year. We wrestled Jed and Doug, which was super funny. We threw Jed into a giant snow penis.
Yeah, you did.
Who the hell else did we? We wrestled Damage and Don in 2-step. That was okay. We wrestled Crazy Pete in Primetime, which was super fun. I wrestled Perfection and Killjoy, which was fun. That was Killjoy's first match outside of BKW. That was cool.
And you did the Pride Driver with him bending, right?
Oh yeah, he took the Pride Driver chest first. See, this stuff I can gloss over. This is the quick part of the interview. Me and Danny wrestled 2XL at Chaos. That was a really good simple match. Like we didn't get too crazy. 2XL was Joey Adams and Ryan Rage.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It was a really simple match, but people loved it, and it was everything we hit was like crisp.
Yeah, it's gotta be decent though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we had the match that I think everybody seems to like the most that we did was me and Danny versus you and Doug versus Sellers and Bolt, which was when Marky turned and joined the Stepdads.
Yep. The PKM triple threat.
Yeah, people love that. People love that video. People love that video. They love that match. That match was awesome. Like
Nowadays, whenever I meet someone who doesn't know anything about my wrestling, that's the first video I show them is the music
people love
video.
that song. I don't know. They
Yeah.
love that match. Everything worked perfectly for that. Danny, I have no idea what the fuck you're saying over there. You playing the whole match? Is that what you're saying? Fuck
He
Danny.
did. He did. I'll give him credit. He planned the whole
Yeah,
match.
he planned so much that he forgets if he's supposed to kick out or not.
I still think that Danny just opted out. He's like, fuck this, I hate this match. He just didn't kick out.
He pulled a Dawn. I just didn't kick out.
But fun fact, if you ever wrestle, if you're ever in a match with Danny, and there's a spot planned where you're supposed to break up a pin, he is not going to kick out if you don't break it up.
Dude, I guarantee you, the moment he looked at you, I looked over my shoulder expecting you to break up the pin. And then I was like, oh right, he's supposed to kick out. And we both went back at the same time. And then it was just like, 3. I'm like, shit.
Danny was, this happened today, by the way. For everybody who's watching this and wondering what the fuck we're talking about. Danny just starts rolling out of the ring, and I just see him go like this. He rolls, and I see his face from me, he's just like... and I was not sure if that meant I was supposed to break up the pin. And as soon as I hit
I
Russ...
thought that's what we decided on, was the breaking up.
No, because you were
pin.
supposed to kick out and supposed to pop Russ up into the Pride Driver.
Yeah, but the original plan was.
But then we changed it.
Everything. Then
All I know is I hit Russ.
I blame Brandon for every single thing that happened because he rushed us like a douchebag.
That's fair enough.
And then he booked himself to win.
Russ
Even though
can attest to
technically
this.
never booked
I
himself
hit
to win,
Russ
he
with the
won.
Pride Driver, and I pin him, and I go, good shit, Russ. was I supposed to break up that pin? And Russ goes, no, pretty sure Danny was supposed to kick out. I was like, good, I thought so. He can't be mad at me now.
Well, but it's like Danny said, like, if we weren't so rushed along,
Oh, I
like, we
agree.
would have been very clear on that. Like, you
I
know what I
agree.
mean? Like, there was no...
That was the
there was
one
no
part
opportunity
we were
to
still
clarify,
deciding on.
like-
That's the only thing we were still deciding on, too.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh, you gotta go. Oh, well,
Day
thanks.
2 of by the way,
Already playing my
that
music.
three-way tag was PKM. Day 2 of PKM,
What's the champs music first?
I had a very forgettable match with Sick Rick, Jimmy Spino, and Truth. My favorite part of that match is me and Spino doing a whole heel sequence to open the match with like double eye rakes and double crotch shots and stuff like
Yeah, I
that.
love those kind of things. I did that with Ian, back
Yeah.
and forth heel tactics.
Then we did Grapgasm again. The gauntlet happened. Eric Douglas crushed my face. Wrestled Glenn and Mason.
By the
I laughed
way,
at you. I was
Yes.
laughing at you when he landed on your face.
Yeah, Doug landed on my face. Danny comes over and checks on me, but doesn't actually ask me if I'm okay. Just starts laughing in my ear.
I'm like this.
I remember.
Then Glenn comes out, and the first thing he does is fish drop me off the top of a ladder.
which was planned. Come on now.
It was planned. Doesn't make the fact that I just got my face landed on.
In the video, you can hear him go, "Are you okay?" And you're like, "Yeah."
I thought my nose was broken at first because like my face when someone lands on your face you get really hot in the face.
Yeah.
What? So you don't know what's hurting or bleeding or not.
That's called anger, Justin.
Yeah, it was anger. I'll tell you that much. But then Mason actually managed to pick me up and hit me with a whatchamacallit, spinny cradle shock.
Yeah.
So that was good. Our stuff was good. Me, Danny.
Our chaining was fun.
Yeah. Me, Danny, Brad, and Doug had a lot of matches, but they were fun. Well, I mean, we'll finish that off at the end of the year.
Yep.
Wrestled Froggy and Omura on day 2. That was a solid match. It didn't get over the way I thought it would. We did a lot. We did the mirror stuff, and I thought the mirror stuff should have got way more over, and nobody laughed at all.
Right.
But that's just the thing that happens with comedy stuff
dicks.
sometimes. The 80s show happened. I wrestled Katonic in Showtime. I pride driver Katonic into the bottom turnbuckle. That was gross as fuck.
So gross.
Day 2 was the insider stuff, where we figured out who the insider was the day it happened, but they wouldn't tell us because they were dicks. We saw Matt Nemo on his phone, texting Jay from the upstairs.
Well, you want to explain the story for that?
Well, the insider happened. They were like, oh, the show BXW hasn't started yet, and we're like, who the fuck is this? Like,
on Twitter.
Yeah, on Twitter. So we were like, that whole day we were like, who the fuck is it? And we thought it was Nemo right from the beginning, but they denied.
Right. And then we tested it.
Didn't we text Nate? We texted something.
We tweeted the outsider and then stood by the window in Mike's room
And we watched
waited,
Nemo
and
pick his
within
phone
like
up.
30 seconds he started putting it on
and
his
it
phone.
was Jay and Nemo. It was Nemo. It was Jay through
Sneaks.
Nemo.
Yeah.
And
And what were they saying? Like, what were they doing? Like,
they were like tweeting like
They were
results from the
trying to
show.
Yeah, they're tweeting results, telling us to hurry up and stuff, but not saying who they were or
Yeah.
anything. So it was clearly somebody who was there just messing with
And then
us.
they were making fun of
Wrestlers.
people and stuff. It was funny. It was a cool idea.
Yeah, and then over time they made fun of a bunch of people.
Yeah. Then we started the Outsider. Rad Hazard started the Outsider.
Yeah, one night I just got bored and I literally just went, I'm going to be the outsider. Because people already thought I was the insider.
Yeah. So the BYW
So, why
Outsider
not?
happened, and
And
that was
I had some of the most uncharacteristic name. Like,
yeah.
I was a terrible person on there.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do.
Then
for me.
I started the Neutralist, which was really funny to me. Everything was like a backhanded compliment that I posted.
Yeah, which is awesome. But people thought I was the outsider. People thought you were the insider.
The insider, Jay, thought I was the outsider. Direct messaged me on Twitter. He's like, I IP traced you. I know you're the outsider, and I wasn't. And then you direct messaged me through the outsider
Yeah,
account.
I tried to trace it to make it you so you could wrestle Jay. And that's really I was like
Hazard
Jay
was setting me up to be
so
the
they're
outsider.
trying to make
Yeah,
bookings
well,
happen.
yeah,
Because
but, well,
Jay,
no.
Jay versus Rad couldn't happen.
Jay messaged me as the insider to the outsider, and he pretty much says, I'm B cubed. I know you're P Dub. I really want to wrestle you. Let's do insider versus outsider. And I felt bad because I was like, oh, you really want to wrestle Justin, don't you? So I said, Justin, just pretend to be the outsider so you guys can have a match.
And
And then, he did for a while.
Just to show you how little I trusted anyone, I direct messaged the outsider back, and I was like, I swear to God, if you fuck me with this, I will find you and I will kill you.
And I
Because
was like,
I don't trust
okay.
anyone in Yard to like be what they.
Yeah, because originally I threw out that it was Steve Phoenix.
Yes.
Constantly, to everyone. Just to throw him off my trail.
But that match never happened.
No.
Eventually,
Unfortunately, I just wanted you guys to have a match and
I
then
told
let it go.
Jay eventually goes, I'm the insider, and I'm like, I'm both. I'm the neutralist and the outsider.
Yeah, I stay completely out of it.
And he was like, well played.
Yeah.
Day two, and this is all leads into who is the BYW Insider, which was the show after the 80s show, which was me and Marky versus B Snow and Rick.
Which we had the backyard sing-along.
Yes.
Which was awesome.
And that match was awesome. B Snow's a crazy person. He took that ladder bump, and people were like legitimately like,
The hype video with him hitting the ladder and knocking the camera over is one of the... I think that's the best clip in BXW ever. Like, it's the scariest, most intense thing
the roof
ever
cam for that
filmed
match
in
is
that
awesome.
ring.
There's a good video for that match that Rick made too.
Oh yeah.
But I want to thank, if you're watching this, Jimmy Spino. I want to thank you because when B Snow hits the ladder and falls on his back, everybody goes silent, and then Jimmy Spino immediately starts a "This is awesome" chant to save it from being really awkward. And people, I hate that when people think someone gets really hurt. If it's an awesome spot, they just go silent.
Yeah,
and it makes a really awesome moment really awkward.
Yeah.
So that was thank you Spino for realizing that was supposed to happen. NYE3 happened.
Well, he was originally supposed to back bump on the ladder, right?
I know. He was gonna jump up and back bump on it.
Jeez.
I'm happier with what he did.
Much happier.
And then we killed Rick, and we did the Ode to the Bulldog spot and won the belts. Danny didn't know. We didn't tell Danny until after it happened that me and Marky were winning the belts.
I'm still confused about that.
I remember you took wasn't it the Shawn Michaels Diesel picture with the GBYWN World Tag
Belt?
Belts?
Yeah, we posted it.
So cool.
NYE3 happened next. I know Mike Damage didn't want to talk about the Cybernetico because he hated it. I love the Cybernetico. It's my favorite match I've ever been in. Because I didn't go over the top with my planning. I had like 5 sequences. I just planned them really simple and had a lot of fun with it. I took a fucking bedtime. I took a half and half from 2-step. It was gross. I got my ass kicked. I lost. It was a fun time. That match was way better than it had any right to be. If anybody tries another Cybernetico, they're crazy because there's no one that are gonna go as smoothly as that. Hey, Don did it. I'll give Don and Warren and them a ton of credit for figuring out the outline of that match and who was going to match up with who.
I saved the dive. I saved the dive sequence by running around stiffing everybody and saying, the dive's not happening yet.
That's true.
Yeah,
it did happen.
I was the ref. I had to call him down.
But be honest, Don did a hell of a job with that layout when he came up with it.
Yeah, Don was
Same with the tag on.
so clutch.
Let's get about that one.
Yeah, I know. After that, my day 2 match was just there. It was me and Danny versus Russ and Warren versus Rage and TJ, and Rage had the hardest time understanding what we wanted to do.
Screw that. That was fun as hell. I don't really care.
We do an arm ringer.
Yeah, it's for newer tag belts instead of the world tag belts. So you guys opted out most of the match.
Really weird.
That
match was Father's Day, by the way. We came out with a Father's Day card, and we opened it up and it just said, "You suck."
Spears were good.
Yeah,
that was cool.
I
Spears were
didn't
good.
understand that mentality of like why our belts had to be up a lot.
Yeah. The Spears were awesome. I love Rage. It's just he had... I don't know if he was just having a weird day where he was off. I'm thinking that's what it was. People have those kind of days. He just couldn't...
grasp any of the company.
Yeah. And I've had days like that, so I totally understand. But that day, he was just off. Yeah, Danny doesn't have days like that because everybody doesn't kick out.
I just think it's funny when people like who don't want to take comedy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it
we
makes no sense. I'm like, yes, because pretend hitting a man makes sense.
Yeah. What's the difference? What's the difference between pretending to hit someone and Russ having a magical mustache that could stop time and rewind it?
Like, come on.
Neither of those are ridiculous. Let's be honest.
Not at all.
After that, Tag Revolution is when we lost the belts to you guys. Marky got grounded, so Danny had to wrestle all 3 matches.
Jeez.
But the show was good. Danny and Marky had a hell of a match with the Flamboys. me and Danny had a good match with Don, considering he got hurt. Don and Mike.
Yep.
And it was hot as fuck that day, which is the reason.
Yeah, it was. That's why I was amazed that Danny was able to just keep going. Like,
Yeah.
I was packing down water and peeing.
No, I know.
And we finished that
still.
match in the dark. Killed each other.
And remember the shoot at the beginning too.
The shoot,
which
where
was your idea.
Yeah, which I think put you guys over as super heels because we were trying to get me and Danny to
we
not.
needed to establish
yeah.
we were the faces.
Yeah, we couldn't have it be super heel versus super heel, so we wanted to be faces by default. So Rad shot on us and said Marky was a cutter and he works the wrist and Danny works the arm, and that was like what set us off and brought us out.
And it was so real too. Like
Yeah,
we weren't
people
even
were like,
in
"Oh,
character
shit."
at all for that.
No, that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
And
for sure.
the match was good. You beat me with the crucifix.
which you nailed perfectly.
Yeah, that was the good one.
Yeah.
Later is the bad one.
Turn it into Samoan drop.
Yeah. EWA 5th anniversary happened. I wrestled Kill K. I don't care. BYS 6. I wrestled Henry Rotten and Ecstatic. That match was good. Second time I got the wind knocked out of me in a match. Ecstatic did a dive where he like hit Henry's back and went through the ropes and hit me on the ground.
Right.
Landed right on my stomach and landed right like here and knocked the wind out of me. And but he was good about it and helped me, like gave me time to get back in the match. Henry hit me with 3 gross forearms that everybody went nuts for. That was fun. I wrestled without a shirt. Everybody fucking marked out. I don't know why. It was gross.
You stopped doing the shirt thing. Why?
What, shirtless?
Yeah.
Because the last time I wrestled shirtless was against you, and you told me I was too sweaty and I needed to wear a shirt.
Yeah. Okay.
your
No,
fault.
you know what? Fair enough. My fault. Because people were finally starting to get used to it.
Why did that happen? Because
didn't know.
you told me
Because
to.
you told
Yeah.
me.
No, it was very true. I tried to get you for the crucifix and I could barely
you couldn't,
hold on.
You couldn't get on because I was
Very
just
true.
sweating.
I didn't
like
know that was
crazy.
the reason you stopped though.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually why
Sorry.
you wear a shirt too. It's like if it's really warm out and I get sweaty, you cannot grab onto me.
I only
Fair enough.
don't wear a shirt if it's super hot and I just need to like not die.
Right.
Because every shirt we wear is black. I don't know, I wrestled Mike Wonder on day 2.
In the rain.
In the rain. I mopped the floor with his fucking head.
And Randa's.
That match was I was not supposed to be in that match. I'll tell you, I'm still upset. I'm still sick, Rick. I've not listened to any of your rap stuff that you've plugged to me because I'm still upset at you about this. You were like, oh, I know you're wrestling Henry, and this is Rick, not me. So if anybody's listening, this is not a shoot by me. Rick goes, I need to give Henry a good match, so you need to wrestle Henry on day 1. I'll take care of you on day 2. Apparently take care of me is give me fucking Mike Wonder in a singles. Is Brody here?
Yep.
Apparently that means give me fucking Mike Wonder in a singles. So that was thanks Rick. Thanks for taking care of me. I wrestled Rad the next show at the AMU North Korea. I gave him. He tried to crucifix me. I ended up giving him the meanest Samoan drop ever. Cause I laid it right on him. Me and Danny went to BYG or 3BYG1. I liked our match. I mean, there was a couple miscues, but we got over. I hit my flip off the apron for the first time ever without breaking someone's leg. That was a fun ass match. I don't know. They liked having us there, so I enjoyed it. The trip is a pain in the ass, but I had fun. They have a good crowd at 3BW. I'll say that much. They got really into our
Good
match.
environment, everything.
Yeah, good vibe. I wrestled TJ when TJ was feuding with you in EWA. We had a nice little match.
Right.
Because I didn't believe I thought you were the answer over TJ.
Oh, how silly.
Yeah, silly of me.
Especially since you saw me kill off New Era.
Yeah.
And go, wait a minute, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Doing it a third time in EWA. Nah, he's got it this time.
I wrestled Tommy Coburn and Mike Massacre in a shady match. I don't know, get the New Era. I wrestled Murph. Me and Murph had a really good singles. Murph elbow dropped me with the fucking trophy. That was cool.
A great story.
Yeah, we told a good story with that match. I mean, it wasn't like super exciting or anything, but it was a good match. Day 2 of that show, I wrestled one of the funniest six-man matches I've ever been in. Hey, Brody.
Hey.
Brody has
I
arrived.
wrestled a really fun six-man with Jed, Doug, PJ, Two-Step, and Warren. And, I don't know, the next New Era show I wrestled Two-Step, which is probably my best singles ever.
Really?
You saw it, right?
Yeah.
I think that match with Two Step was awesome. We
Okay.
killed each other. We did some awesome shit. I took the grossest half and half I've ever taken. Probably the best bump I've ever taken.
You and Two Step in the ring together, always magic apparently.
Yeah, me and Two Step meshed well together. I don't know why. And then the last Crapgasm, I wrestled Andrew Wright, Jack Diesel, and Murph, and we had a really funny match that I thought was terrible at the
Do you
time.
remember the stipulations?
The stipulate it was Crapgasm 20, me versus Murph versus Andrew versus Jack Diesel in a favor from Rad Hazard match.
Oh yeah.
Jack Diesel got a title shot, right?
Yep.
Andrew Wright got some time off because he had wrestled one fucking show that year.
Which is funny because the Fed was dying anyway.
Yeah, Murph got a new tie. I don't know.
New fedora.
Murph got a new fedora.
Something like that. I think he wanted a GBYWN World Title shot.
Yeah.
Whatever. Murph got
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And I got to shave Rad's head if I won. So clearly
Why I agreed to it, I don't know.
I don't know. That was my favorite.
Just
from
to
you,
get him
shave
out of
your
the
head.
way.
Because
Oh,
you
I
know
agreed
what's
to it
gonna
because I had to run. I had to run away. at the
Yeah.
moment.
Below. AKA these kind of runs.
And then
Yeah, exactly.
Brody, you had good timing. The show after Grapgasm 20 is Elite 2013. I wrestled Adam Bolt in the opener. It was a good match. And then I wrestled Ryan Brody for the first time. Well, we were in 2 matches together. Tietzelmania and the New Era versus EWA match.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we ever did anything in a match together.
I haven't seen it.
You know, I thought I sent it to you.
No.
I didn't send it to you. Well, I'll show it to you later.
Okay.
There you go.
But it was the story of it. I thought was awesome. It's probably one of my favorite story matches I've done.
People said they liked it, so I
Yeah.
just kind of go off of that.
We did. Me and Brody are both big UFC fans, so we kind of went with the UFC story to it. Of I was the big guy and Brody was the small guy trying to wear me out.
Oh man, that's totally a UFC concept,
No,
not
but-
reality.
But the whole Brody was very much stick and move, hit me
Yeah.
and get out of the way.
I get where you're going.
Yeah. And eventually he tried to stick and move and didn't move quick enough, and I caught him with some shots and started to take over the match. And he rope-a-doped me and then tapped me out. Or choked me out, I guess. But the match was good. I liked it. The story was good. I took a Northern Lights bomb that actually turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
Damn.
They might have. I don't know. I didn't see it.
I thought I said
I was
it to
on
you.
commentary.
I have it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like any of my matches from this year except for the BXW match.
And
I
then
don't want to watch those.
And then the match closed out with,
Actually, the first one
or the
pretty
year
good,
closed out with Goodbye, Day 1, in a ladder match. The only ladder match I've ever been in. And I hated landing on ladders. I'll tell you that much. Me and
That's the
Danny
best
versus
part.
me and Danny versus Red and Doug. I ended Doug's career.
Oh.
Danny broke his fucking arm. Red died.
I injured it pretty bad.
Yeah, and I didn't wrestle day. 3 of us didn't wrestle day 2, but Doug did.
Man,
This shit blows my mind. Doug, who has not wrestled since, wrestled day 2 of that fucking weekend.
Shouldn't have done it. That's
The
what
other-
happens.
Well, he did take a fucking flipping DDT from Clayton off the top rope, so maybe that's why his fucking brains are scrambled.
Oh.
That's me.
I love Doug. I hung out with Doug a few weeks ago and made. Doug was like, "Oh, I'm so glad you could make it to Raw with me," and I was like, "Hey, man, seize the day." When you hang out with, but I hung out with Doug now. It's just all seizure jokes.
Ah.
Because I'm a good person.
Let that dry out.
And now we're in 2014. I don't know. We
Yeah.
had Homeward Bound. That was a fun show. I wrestled Rebel and I dropped Andrew Sellers on his fucking head.
Always a good day.
About you.
Oh, fuck.
I wrestled Jed Damage Warren. Jed did a fucking 4-corner massacre by himself. I lost the X Division title this year to James Connolly.
Good work.
A title I held for only 10 minutes longer than I held the U.S.
I
title.
was gonna say, I guess I totally missed that.
Marky didn't show up for the show, and I was forced to defend the title.
Freebird rules.
Okay.
And I lost it.
Does that
because-
make me X
fuck
Division
Mark.
champion
That was,
also?
I made him do it because
You were.
That makes me X
he
Division champion also?
retired Doug.
Yeah. My favorite match of this year didn't happen.
Yeah,
Me versus
yeah.
Danny versus Marky. That match was awesome on paper.
Yeah.
Then we tried to do it today, and it didn't happen either. I don't know. I wrestled Primetime. That was fun. That's really all that's
I
happened.
like how you said it in a questioning way.
That's fun.
I wrestled primetime. That was fun.
We both
Those
forgot.
like all your thoughts. It was fun.
It was
good.
no.
It's fun.
I've been more in depth for other things. I really
Yeah,
have nothing else to say
yeah.
about that. It was fun.
It was just fun.
I don't know any other.
And then we reached today.
We reached today.
It's good for
today
what it
happened.
was.
We were in a 6-man. Me,
You
Danny,
sure
Russ,
fucking did.
FX, George O'Reilly, and Tom.
Yeah, I would like to hear about that.
Oh, you're about to. And so is everybody listening to this interview.
No, like the whole thing, but
No, I'll give the whole thing on this fucking interview.
no, the whole show.
Oh, I didn't watch any of the show.
We weren't allowed to.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to.
We were on timeout in the
Yeah,
driveway.
you guys gotta go
thrown
plan
out
all
there.
show.
You guys had to play in the driveway.
Who told you that?
Brandon.
I mean, we could have planned wherever we wanted, but
Does he really book?
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
he told us. He's like, you guys have to go to the driveway and plan.
So we have
And he
this match.
shoved me
And they tried to.
towards the
Yeah,
driveway.
he's getting pretty forceful now. Yeah.
Yeah. Brandon comes over and goes.
He'll stop
He's the
eventually.
booker.
Brandon comes over and goes, "You guys ready?" And I go, "We need 2 more minutes." And he goes, "Okay." And then Russ's music hits.
Yeah.
We did the match. I don't know if you've been listening to this interview, you know what happened. I'll tell Brody later. But we had some miscommunication.
We had no communication because of Brandon.
And that's where
You
we
guys
are
want to
today.
communicate?
Nope. Now we're all hanging out in this room, reminiscing about how things we hate and fucking how much tech sucks.
To be continued in X amount of other interviews.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
None of us did.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. Did any
Alright.
of you film this train wreck that we wrestled in today?
No, I was gonna say we could just watch it over.
No, that's cool.
No. I
good.
don't want to.
Any closing questions?
Yeah. What are you looking for in the future now? You've got your title shot.
Oh, my tri-state title shot?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to wrestling
Looks like they never won.
wrestling for the tri-state
Spoiler.
title.
I mean, are you happy about the match coming up?
Yeah, I get to wrestle. I love Joey Adams. I think Joey Adams is very technically sound and does some really cool stuff. He's very quick. He puts together a good match, so I'm excited to wrestle him. I've only wrestled him a couple times, nothing ever big, so I'm excited to wrestle Joey. I think he's super underrated outside of this area because he doesn't really go anywhere else.
Okay. All right. Do you feel like how do you feel about your whole career in general? Like not like do you
What, am I
feel
retiring?
No, but I mean like early on to now, do you feel like certain parts you could have done better? You feel slow, like something slowed down,
I mean,
things sped up.
I look back at matches sometimes and I'm like, this spot could be better. Like I wish certain spots had gone better in different matches, but like nothing major. I'm pretty happy with where I am. I've only been wrestling 4.5 years.
Freaking die.
I told Kale that I've been wrestling 4 years last year, and he thought I'd been wrestling for much longer, so I took that as a big compliment. I mean, I also took it as the fact that Kale might have just been drunk and forgotten that a lot of time had passed.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I feel pretty happy with where I am. I feel like there's not many big guys in the yard who bump the way I do, so that makes me happy.
Very true.
That's the one thing I could do well, I guess. So I do that.
Is there any kind of advice you could give new people who might be listening to this in the future? Especially people like with your type of move set and
Like big guys.
yeah.
Education.
Learn to
Do it
bump.
real school.
Like definitely learn to bump as a big guy. If you're a big guy and you can't take ranas and fucking arm drags, you're gonna have a rough fucking
You
time.
have a bad time.
Yeah. Because I watch big guys wrestle sometimes and they take ranas like shit and it bothers me. It's like that's like the easiest thing to do. If you're a big guy and you can't do quarter rolls, then just fucking go home. It's one of the easiest things to do, and you need to be able to do it to wrestle small guys. If any bookers are listening to this, don't book big Battle of the Big Men matches. They're fucking garbage. There's never been a good one ever. They suck. I hate being in them. Ask Marcus Centofonte how it feels. Ask Don how he feels. He hates them, I know. Don hates being in fucking Battle of Big Men matches. Am I wrong, Russ?
Genocide hates it too.
Genocide hates it. It's just
I don't know.
it.
I can't speak.
Everybody
for him.
thinks, oh, these two big men, they'll be able to do all this stuff, and we can't do any of our moves. So don't book it. Two big men can't pick each other up. So it's just like canceling out everything they could do.
Is there any goals coming up? Dream matches, anything like that
You know-
you like throw out there just for anybody?
I know so many people who are like, oh, I have all these dream matches. And like, I don't.
That's fine. I don't either. To be honest.
I feel like if you put me like, I feel like there's so many matches I'd rather see these dream guys go against before me. Like, I feel like I'm so far down the list of, like if I don't know what the hell I'd do with Andy. If people were like, oh man, I'd rather see Andy wrestle so many people before he wrestled me. I mean, maybe other people might feel different, but, like,
I can agree with that.
I don't know how I'd feel, like, even a guy like Pete, like Vengeance, I don't know how I'd keep up with him. It's like, he wrestles this pace, and I don't know what I could keep up with. Yeah. So there's these matches I could say I'd love to do, but I don't think they'd be that good, and people would be disappointed. I'd love to wrestle Trey, but again, I don't know. There's other matches that he would be better in, so I don't see myself doing that. I guess my dream matches would be tag matches. Me and Danny versus the A-Team. Like I said, me versus Andy by myself, probably not that great. Me and Danny versus Arbo and Andy as a team, we could definitely do some shit. Like, me and Danny versus teams is what I'd like to do over... Yeah. That's what I'd say to a big guy, too. Find a small guy, make a tag team. They're the best type of tag teams. Big guy, small guy teams. Because you get a little bit of everything. You could do both things. You got some flippy, you got some technical...
Throw the little guy around.
Yeah, throw your partner around. I'd say that's the best thing to do.
Alright,
I don't know, that's my feeling about that.
No,
my dream matches are all tag matches.
That's fine.
Even though I'm kind of over tagging a little bit, but people are
maybe
like,
Heroes of Time.
I've never wrestled the Morist. There's so many people I haven't wrestled so many people I've been around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I wrestled Fatal, but I've never wrestled Matt. I've never wrestled Ian. I've never wrestled Zagan. I love to wrestle Zagan and Killjoy.
They're fun to wrestle. I wrestled them 3 times. Lots of fun.
Yeah. So, like, those would be, like, some matches I'd love to do. I'd love to wrestle Ace Jack and Maverick. I'd love to wrestle I'd love to wrestle, Suicide and Raw Sewage. Like, I'd love to wrestle any of those tag teams that would just be fun to fucking do some shit with. Love to wrestle, like, any of the Canadians, obviously. Far and Loathing would be super fun.
Yeah.
I feel like we could do some good comedy stuff with them and some cool spots with them. I don't know, what do you think, Danny?
I don't know. I don't think any of them know who we are.
That's probably
I mean,
true.
The Canadians, like I know who all of them are, but if they were like given the chance, I'd be like, oh, we don't know them. So it's like, I don't want to wrestle you then because I don't think you know me.
Yeah.
But if you tell me you know me, then I'll be like, hey.
Well, I've talked to Arbo about wrestling us before.
Oh, Arbo, I love Arbo. I played Gears of War.
Yeah, I know Arbo would wrestle us definitely at some point. It just needs to be they need to be at a show with us, pretty much. But, like, singles matches, I don't know. I feel like I do better in multi-mans than singles. Although multi-mans are super stressful. It's just, I need to be in a singles with a certain person to have a good singles.
Fair enough, someone that compliments
you.
Chemistry.
Yeah, I wanted to wrestle Randa. Randa was actually one of my dream matches for a while. And, here's one. My ultimate dream match that I know is just never going to happen is Twisted Outcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was one of the first guys I saw have like a video, and I was like, that guy's fucking crazy. I'd love to wrestle that guy. So, here you go. That's the only real dream match I guess I have.
Still, it's a good choice.
Yeah. It's not a common choice, but I think it's not a choice a lot of people say, but I think it's a match that a lot of people would like to have if they thought about it.
Yeah, it would raise an eyebrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him versus Chris was awesome, so.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a dream match in my book. Alright, so we went through your childhood, went through your wrestling, your career, future goals, whatever.
Yeah, bro, you give that face.
All the good stuff.
You're up next.
Is there any final words you'd like to give the podcast? Anything that maybe have come to mind in the last couple hours?
Any final words? Fuck tech. Fuck Arkham. Arkham, give the money back you stole from Vader.
Vader.
Brody, that didn't happen, right? I'm not making that up.
That happened.
Thank you.
Arkham just pilfers money from people?
Yeah.
That is
fuck him.
Gimmick out of real life.
Yeah,
And
stole Vader's payday.
And B
What?
cubed.
Yeah.
B cubed, you're a fucking faggot.
Oh, the revelry continues.
So, there you go. Final words. Fuck B cubed. Aaron Heights forever.
Alright, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Russ,
I'm leaving
Daniel
now.
Devine, and Ryan Brody, who showed up.
You're welcome.
And definitely thank you, Patrick Ray Wilson.
Yeah, no problem.
Alright, folks, there you have, and I promise this time it really is the end of the Patrick Wade Wilson quadrilogy here at the GBYWN podcast. And I hope you enjoyed every single second of that podcast just as much as I enjoyed doing the interview and hosting it for you here on the GBYWN podcast. But first, before we head off into the sunset, which I know you can't see right now, but there actually is a sunset next to me in the GBYWN sound studio. I'd like to talk about something that really has been on my mind since NYE. I touched on it a little bit, and it's the idea of bringing up the fresh blood, the new blood in backyard wrestling. It's something I feel like I gotta complain about. Maybe it's something only a Mark would complain about. Alright, folks, alright. Let's look back a little bit. Let's look at NYE. NYE, truly the clash of the new blood, the current blood, and the fresh blood. The old blood. You had men like Jay Cryptor returning, Orion returning, Zayn returning. You had guys who have really been the backbone of the GBYWN. Marcus Centofonte, Mike Damage, Matt DeMorris, even Sam Jude, if you want to put him in there. I know he's fresh to the United States, but he's been around a little while. And then you got the fresh blood. Men like James Connolly, who have done nothing but improve and become more and more impressive with each match. And you bookers, I know you care a lot about your core wrestling roster. And that's good. That's important. You gotta make sure the guys who were there the most have the most to do. That just makes sense to me. But you gotta think about those rookies, those greenhorns in your roster. Even if they're part-timers, even if they only show up once in a while. If they're determined enough, that means they're in it for the long haul. Even if your Fed isn't going to last forever. Think about it this way. What does every backyard wrestling booker hope to achieve at the end of the day? One word, folks. Legacy. You want everyone to remember your Fed. There is not a single person in the GBYWN circuit who will ever forget New Era. There's not a single person in the GBYWN era who will ever forget BXW. And that is because so many people have had so many great moments in those promotions. But you know what? A lot of the rookies right now, you know what they're saying? They're singing the praises of ETTW, Matt DeMorris Fed. Think of all the people who have come out of ETTW, not just DeMorris himself. G Fatal, Halo Brown, James Connolly, Jamie Anderson, that's just to name a few. And these men more or less have come to other Feds and have really started to shine. Obviously Halo and James Connolly being the key too. And they got their start from ETTW. They can say they got their big break at ETTW, Matt DeMorris Fed. And isn't that what you want, guys? When your Fed ends finally, mercilessly, you want there to be people going, you know, I got my start at that Fed. I'm going to remind you about that Fed. How about Murph talking about NECW and his crew there? They always talk about their Fed because it meant the world to them because it was their first break in backyard wrestling. When they were announced at their first super shows, where were they from? They were from that Fed. And that meant a lot to them. That's a big part of legacy, folks. You got to bring up the youth. You got to bring up that lower card. And even if they don't make it to main event status in your Fed, they got to start somewhere. They got to start somewhere. And I know what you're saying. How on earth do I do this? I can't just throw someone in with a big star and hope they have a fantastic match. I wouldn't ask you to do that. Nobody should do that. I'll give you a couple examples of stuff you can do. You know how they did it back in the 80s and 70s? In pro wrestling? I'll tell you. It's a little thing called tag team wrestling. You take a greenhorn, you take a rookie, and you pair them up side by side with an experienced vet. A man who will do nothing but just throw information at these guys. And they're going to be sponges. They're going to soak up every single thing. And if they get nervous, if they mess up in a match, all they got to do is tag out and let that vet recover for them. Plus, it gives that vet something new. Maybe these rookies have some moves that these vets don't do. Gives them something new to do. Some shine. I'll be honest, I didn't do many moonsaults and aerial things until I started wrestling with Eric Douglas. I still only pull out a moonsault here and there, but it did help my wrestling. It made me realize that I can do a lot faster, quicker, more high-flying moves. And I'm glad that I do that stuff now. You got to pair these guys up in logical ways with wrestling vets. Another way to do it is to have that one-on-one feud, but not directly. Maybe they have a big match building into maybe 6 months' time. But between that time, have these guys pair up with a faction. If you can team up with a faction, that's multiple people you can learn from. I think every faction should have at least one rookie-esque person, one guy who hasn't had a big break yet, who probably deserves one. I personally think Big Sexy Venom is a big part of the Radical movement because he really hasn't been able to showcase himself anywhere outside of OCWS, and this is his big break to do that. And he's told me that himself. I'm so excited to see what he can do on a bigger stage with more eyes. And that's what these guys need. They need to be able to have bigger matches in front of more eyes. They've got to establish themselves, then their wrestling movesets. They've got to pair up with vets and really understand the craft. And they need a booker who will give them that opportunity to shine, to move up. Even if they don't become a main eventer there, it's something. It's a foot in the door. And that's what these guys need. I'm not saying have every single match be a vet versus a rook. You know that's stupid. But just having the rookies wrestle each other over and over and over again is only going to get them so far. And believe me, it's not that far. So if you're a booker and you got these two rookies coming in, you say, oh, I'll have them wrestle each other, they're not that good anyway. You're not improving them at all. If anything, you're making them worse. They're going to sink into a more and more permanent moveset that just doesn't work. They need that education at that pivotal time where they're doing nothing but soaking up ideas and moves and listening to every single person who says anything. That's when you get them. That's when you figure out exactly what they're all about, what they have potential to do, and you push that potential, man. I would even say it's a great move to take one of those rookies and put them in that undefeated streak persona. Put him in that lucky winner persona. That worked great for the 1-2-3 kid, remember him? Worked great for Mikey Whipwreck, a man who didn't do a single offensive maneuver the first 2 years of his career, still put in a great position to be showcased and wrestle some of the best pros that ECW had at the time. And that did nothing but help him. And the one thing about backyard wrestling is a lot of it can be emulated from pro wrestling itself. And in some ways, I believe, can be expanded upon in ways pro wrestling could never do. Example, the head spike, which everyone loves. Not that used in pro wrestling, is it? And neither are rookies. And let me tell you, there's a lot of great rookies out there. There are guys who've been doing it for a couple years, still could learn so much. And it takes something like a Halo Brown James Connolly ladder match to bring out that mean streak, that hungry streak, to see what they're really all about, and to see where they are on the measuring stick at that point in their careers, to be able to say, all right, this is what I want to do next time, this is what I want to do better. If they have a bad match, guess what? It's just going to make them want to do better next time. It improves them nonetheless. So let me tell you now, bookers, if you got these rookies, you got these guys who are under 2, maybe even under 3 years of wrestling, I want you to focus on them a little more. Yeah, care about your main roster. Definitely care about your main roster. But let me tell you, these rookies need more of your attention. They need more specific booking. You can't just put them against anybody. You got to think about exactly who you're putting them against. If they're a good talker, have them talk way more. Have them be someone's manager on the side. Have them be the talker in the tag team, whatever it's got to be. If they're good at wrestling, you keep drilling that wrestling in them. You have them wrestle guys like Daniel Devine. Have them wrestle guys like the Russ. Experienced wrestlers who know what they're doing, who can wrestle you out of your shoes, because they'll do nothing but learn from it. And they are the future, guys. Our feds are going to wither and go away. But let me tell you, I really believe that the GBYWN will live on past all our feds and into the next generation of feds. And who's going to be running it? Who's going to give a shit about the GBYWN at that point? Well, we're all going to be gone. It's going to be them. The guys who grew up in it, who got their break in it, their first titles in it, they're going to be the ones who care. And that's legacy, folks. That's what we all want, right? Legacy? Let me tell you something, folks. The past will only mean as much as what the future will remember it as. And that is something only a mark would complain about.
I got the biggest boner for science.
Alright, folks, as the sun finally sets next to the GBYWN Sound Studio, I bid you adieu. Next time, we will begin a new trilogy. I'll give you a little hint. You know what? Forget it. I'll tell you the whole thing. It's gonna be none other than the Global Backyard Wrestling Nation United States Tag Team Champions, the Flam Boys, both Adam Bolt Burnett and Andrew Sellers at the very same time. They broke in together, they wrestled together. Why not interview them at the same time? It was so much fun. We had a couple of guests in the room. I'll let you find out who they were on the day. But in the meantime, this is the Sounds of Backyard Wrestling. I am Rad Hazard signing off for the Global Backyard Wrestling Nation Podcast.
Heavyweight champion, Sam June! Please come back! 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 Please come back!
That was awesome!
Something to say. That was awesome! That was awesome!
I don't usually say much. And this isn't to do with any character or anything. But I just want to thank every single one of you around the ring, every single one of you that watch. It's meant the absolute world to me. You've been the best promotion I've ever worked for. Fuck England. You can send that to them as well.
USA! USA! USA!
America.
America! Fuck yeah!
And you have really made a young Englishman feel really, really proud to be in backyard wrestling. Fuck Indies.
Yeah!